This 13-year-old got arrested and on Connecticut Avenue, black kid, and he had a fake me out gun. You know, it was a gun, it was a fake me out one, the ones that they use in the movies and stuff.
What's good, Facebook Live? Hopefully you see this.
We talking. All right.
It's all right. What's good? We finishing up. Hold tight.
And so I was going back and forth with this guy about how his, the kid's constitutional rights was violated based on what the story was saying. It didn't say that they were running away from any crime or anything like that. It said the police apprehended three individuals coming down, and there was a gun in his book bag. So I'm like, any lawyer is going to be able to get that case dismissed because there doesn't seem to be any motivation for, And so this guy was going back and forth at me and stuff, and he's like, yeah, well, you'll be glad when guns are on the street. And I'm like, dude, we talking about constitutional rights.
Oh, yeah.
We not talking about, there are so many cases that have been dismissed because police made, I literally was looking up one where I was,
That's one we
It says live.
it says live.
Okay, let me make sure.
Check it out. I got the
that's
notice
phone,
saying
actually.
live.
Yeah, the live. Okay. What's good, Facebook family? We're about to start any second here, all right? You are inside the Culture Divide experiment. Get ready.
WMSK Online Radio.com original show.
The views and opinions that are expressed on WMSKOnlineradio.com are those of the guests, hosts, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, hosts, or advertisers. The shows founded on WMSKOnlineradio.com can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. These shows are for entertainment only. Thanks for listening.
What's good, what's good, what's good? You are listening to WMSK Online Radio, and you are inside the Culture Divide experiment. My name is Barry J. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at The Culture Divide, Instagram at The Culture Divide, and on Twitter at The Cultural EXP. Thank you for tuning in today, and we hope you enjoy the show. Allow me to introduce to my co-host. She is the creator of the Work Here, Wear This movement, where she helps her clients find their work style. She will prevent you from being the victim of he did not wear that to work. She is our in-house work fashion consultant. She is my partner, my better half, my wife, the yin to my yang, the beautiful, the incredible, the oh so amazing SJ. What's up, baby?
I just feel like I should come out to like a crowd roaring at
I'm working on that.
What's
working on
up,
that. It's that DMV.
Well, I'm in Middle River.
That's true.
They had the person out there with the little cardboard to tell you where you're at because you've been so many places.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Behind the scenes, behind the camera.
Hello, Ohio. They're like, Detroit.
You're in Detroit now, right? My bad. To my left, he is a communications professor, a fellow professional development trainer. He is our in-house resident professor. He's your favorite professor, my man, Professor Kevin Austin. What's good, Professor K?
What's going on, man? Hey, I definitely appreciate you guys inviting me again to come back on the show.
We mean inviting, man. You are awesome. The invitation. You are here. You're not here, we got a problem, man.
I appreciate
we missing somebody.
I appreciate the hospitality, man. I hope everybody had a great holiday, and I'm glad you guys are tuning in over there.
Absolutely. Now, the professor has invited a special guest with him today. Miss Lauren Williams is a strategic communications professional who specializes in, and I love this part, off-the-hip solutions. I love it. She has figured out how to apply proper decision-making tools and make them work in any situation. Lauren owns and operates a communication consulting firm and is currently the communications manager at the Housing Opportunities Commission of Montgomery County. Lauren, thank you so very much for coming out with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here today. Hi, Facebook Live. Hi to all of our listeners. I'm excited to talk about the topic and, let's get this going.
Excellent. If this is your first time listening, what is the Culture Divide Experiment? We have bold discussions about the cultural issues and biases within businesses and the workplace. Our show also focuses on the masks we wear in the workplace and the challenges we face to fit in. our experiment, bringing our secret obstacles to light. You know those quiet conversations you only have with like-minded individuals huddled in the office cubicle in the parking lot, and the second someone comes around, you change the subject? Those are the conversations we have right here. We want to help create and foster change in those work environments. The average person between the ages of 25 and 54 with children spends an average time of 8.9 hours at work. And that does not include travel and traffic time. This show helps us develop professionally at work and in our businesses, while at the same time helping us navigate the treacherous waters of work relationships. I am so excited today. I'm like over my tongue because I got a lot of good things, and we haven't had a guest in the house in a long time. So we're gonna have a little fun with Miss Williams here. So we'll put her on the spot right now. Okay?
I'm excited to be here. Let's do this.
All right. So we talk about the mask at work and some of the things we have to do to code switch to fit in, especially when we walk into that corporate environment, or we're trying to close that $1 million contract, or we're just trying to have a regular old interview. And we want to hear and we want to see how you code switch. So what's the voice that you use when you're about to head in to that classroom or head into that corporate office and you're like, I got to make this happen and grab that client? Let's hear it for everybody.
Code switch? Who code switches? What are you talking about? I am who I am all the time. It's like, no. What's the voice? The voice is, absolutely, not a problem. I can get that in 1 second. How are you today? Oh, I'm doing very well, and yourself? Thank you. That's the voice. Otherwise, it's like, what up? What up,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's good?
The slang and everything. But just real quick, so am I like the only person who's like, in their, 40-year-old people that that don't know some of the new slang? So I was watching She's Gotta Have It this week. And some of the slang, I'm sitting there like, she was like, yo, don't be all emo on me. I was like, what the hell is that?
emotional.
What? I was like, I don't know that one.
So you get the language is being left behind as we grow a little older. You're not.
Well, I'm starting to feel a little bit like my parents in some cases. Like I try to keep up with the music. Some stuff just,
Right.
It just, my ears can't take it. I'm like, you know what? Give me some like Jay-Z or something like that. But this whole, the running joke in my house is about me and trap music, because I'm always like, is that damn trap music? That ain't nothing but trap music. And they know I feel strongly that trap music should have had its own genre and not been included into hip hop, but that's a conversation.
I'll put you on that. I like trap music, but hip hop is different. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I have like a really personal relationship with hip hop.
Right. So.
Oh man, you just took it back to what's the movie with
Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar.
Yeah, that's my joint. Right.
But yeah, and so trying to keep up with some of these things, but some stuff you just like, I got nothing. I don't even know. Like she had a whole conversation with her girl, and I was just like
lost. I got nothing. I don't know what we're talking about.
They might as well have been speaking French. I was like, okay. Next scene, please, because I lost out on that whole one.
Well, we're going to switch it up a little bit just because SJ brought it up. So I am digging the fact that they have brought back She's Gotta Have It. I've only seen clips because my wife started watching it without me.
That's because he wants to wait till we finish every other series we're watching
it's a lot
to
of
watch
stuff
that. And I love She's Gotta Have It. So I was like, yeah.
So yeah, tell us about it. Break it down. How different is it from the one we grew up on and this modern version? And what's some of the things that you're finding right off the bat?
Well, you got to think about it. You got to remember it like this. So She's Gotta Have It, the original, was ahead of its time, right? Because it was the sexual empowerment of a woman.
Right.
So that was already advanced.
Right.
So now you take today's modern technologies and just add that twist to it. And that's basically it. It still follows the same storyline. I mean, it's still the same characters pretty much. It's just now, like I don't remember in the original one there being a woman lover. I don't remember there being a woman lover in the original, but I have to double check my facts on that because it's been a minute since I've seen that one. But that was a new introduction of her having had a past with a female lover, and how she had become the perfect man. There was a Thanksgiving one where
The perfect man.
Her idea of a perfect man is what she had become.
Yeah.
And the other part of it, there
I'm
was
gonna cut you off to talk about how I've never had a dog become the perfect cat. I'm just letting you know. All right, that's
I mean, basically, we're talking about looking at all of the characteristics that she wanted in a male.
Right.
She possessed them herself.
Yes.
male or
And
man.
And a man.
You said male.
Okay.
Different. It's a different thing.
But so it was that, and then even like she hosted a Thanksgiving dinner and had all of her lovers there because they all had been asking about each other and had all of them there.
Whoa. Back
Savage.
up.
Yes, she
Back
did.
up.
But isn't
Yes,
that
she
just
did.
like How to Be a Player?
Yeah, but
Remember How
that
to Be a
dude,
Player?
no, but he didn't invite them to sit down and
But
break
he
Yeah.
had no business
No. But the difference is that she's honest with all of her lovers in advance and saying that, like, I'm not only with you, I'm not only committed to you, and I have no desire to be owned or to be just with one person.
Yep.
What does she call herself? A polyamorous, polyamorous,
I understand polyamorous.
Yeah. But her point, but in the
That's what it
movie,
means.
but Kevin, in the movie that you referenced, he was not honest up front. So,
No.
That's true.
You
He's
know,
trying everybody.
she's
Oh,
trying
How to Be a Player.
everybody,
Right.
exactly.
How to Be Honest.
Well, I mean, she's
If it was called How to Be Honest, the movie would have ended in 5 minutes. It's like, hey, who was that girl on the phone? That's the one with Chico Smash. It was like,
but that's the difference. So she's honest with everyone from the break.
Exactly.
So even the woman lover, that was one of the reasons why that relationship did not work out.
Right.
Really?
Because all of these, but here's the thing. The funny thing about it is the fact that she is honest and giving them the opportunity to decide for themselves whether they want to continue to participate.
Right.
They all still do.
They all
That could also
still
be a
do.
conversation about why Jay-Z and Beyonce still together.
They all still want her just as much, if not
If
more.
not more.
Because they know the truth. And then even the funny thing about Thanksgiving, once they realized that they were all there and that they had all been in another space together before, which was like her art showing, they all were like, and folks wanted to leave, but
so they didn't recognize each other.
they didn't know each other to recognize each other.
They knew that
But
she
the
was
second
dealing with
meeting-
other guys. They just
Right.
had never seen each other
Right.
before.
But they saw each other at that art. So I'm gonna go back and watch
Yeah.
everything.
Right,
You know
so
what I
they
mean?
to watch.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when
Wow.
at Thanksgiving, when they realize they're looking at each other and they realize they all flash back to the moment at the art gallery that they were all swooning over her self-portrait, standing next to each other. They were all like,
Stop lying. So all three at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just.
and in the background you see her like. But the funny thing is, when one guy came at her about having everybody there at Thanksgiving, she was like, why? Is it a problem because I'm behaving the way a man would?
And they all kind of
And
like
he
got
couldn't-
quiet.
Everybody
Yeah,
got
but-
quiet and changed their conversation.
Cricket,
Went back to
cricket.
eating their
Look,
daggone
I'm gonna tell
turkey.
you right now, I don't know any man that would actually invite.
That's what I'm about to say,
three
man. That's
different
not
women
even
that
that's
he's
not an
seen.
accurate. That's not an accurate perception.
No, I mean you say that, but the reality is
Men aren't
that
bringing a bunch of women. They're not saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm smashing Becky and Sue, and then y'all all can come over Thanksgiving, though.
But
Oh, I'm gonna pull out the grill. Y'all all come over and get a steak.
Well, none of
that's
us
like,
because
man.
that's because in
Women.
those situations, most cases, they
They
weren't honest up front.
Right.
Right.
And
If
that's
you
the
are
problem.
honest and give a person a choice
Yes.
to decide, so
Right.
this is what I'm doing, this is how I
Right.
rock. If you if you okay with that, you
I
can
agree.
rock too.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Then I mean, what are you going to do?
Yep.
Now,
I agree with
You
Yeah.
signed up. It wasn't like I fooled you into
It's
it.
not- it's
That's
not
when women get mad. When you lie and then Becky shows up. Then
Well,
I'm like, I'm
because
about to
this-
smash
okay,
your head
well,
because you
let's-
lying.
So let me answer this question. There's a difference between omission of full truth or omission of full disclosure and lying.
Yeah.
It's one thing to lie. It's something else to omit information.
now, all right.
Because
Let me
no,
tell you.
Are you
listen.
really going to do
Yes,
that?
No, okay,
Yeah,
think about this.
yeah.
Okay, no. We're gonna put it on the okay.
Well, you never asked me about Becky.
All right, but
I didn't know I
look,
needed to.
Now, you get. I mean, men are
Don't do
very.
that.
We doing real upfront about that.
Wait a
You
minute.
ask, we
You want to let
answer.
him do that right?
No. He by himself right now.
Right, yeah,
Okay, so let me put it in a different term though. So what you said was that if you in multiple, she says it up front that she's got multiple other things going on. Great, good. So look at it in I'm looking for a job. So I go to the interview and I tell them, hey, you know what? I have some other stuff going on, and I've done this plenty of times. I like to work part-time everywhere. I ain't not full-time enough. So I always say, I got something else, so I don't know about that schedule if it's going to work for me. I might have to call you back on that.
Okay.
So it's the same. I'm not telling you what it is I got that was going on. I'm just saying, at this time, I can't commit to, X amount of days in the week. I might give you these days because I got something else going on.
All right, let me step in here because I hear what you're saying, Professor. Because at the end of the day, I know from a fact, from an experience standpoint, the average dude is not going to do what she did.
Exactly.
Bringing over 3 different women he's seen. So I have to commend her on her boldness.
Effrontery.
Yeah.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. It did take her a minute to get there because she was having issues within herself about just life in general. Like, do I need to grow up? Do I need to stop? She was getting the pressure of what everybody is saying she should do and who she should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it identifiable or easy to identify with, is that a lot of times in life, especially as women, you have so many people telling you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you should be this way, you should be that way.
Right.
When it's just like, hold up, wait a minute, let me just get my space and figure out what the heck I
need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's and when she went to therapy, it wasn't until her therapist was like, so you've taken these 3 men and you've created like a 3-headed monster. Mm-hmm. And she's like,
ooh. So
and she actually like leaned
something.
forward and engaged. Each one of them had something that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And together they made her perfect
person.
Mm-hmm. But the one person who was always the outside of this was her female relationship.
Yes.
Interesting.
That one was always more safe. It was just that she was afraid of commitment.
Right.
Interesting. Well, she hasn't committed to anybody, has she?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you still got 3, 4 folks running around. That's not
Right.
commitment. That's
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
But when you talk about polyamory, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's a small element, and I say small because it's out of the 4 people that she's dealing with. One of the guys that she's dealing with is married but complicated, right? Because
complicated.
Him and his wife are living together for the sake of their child, but they're not together, and that situation's weird. So I mean, he's not even really an option, in my opinion. But to your point about just the pressures of being a woman in society, because we do live in a patriarchy-based or founded society, there's all of these different things that women are supposed to be. And the theme throughout the series is rejection, right? Like rejecting the societal norms of what it means to be a woman in society. And even more than that, what it means to be a black woman in society, because they do touch on her race in the series on a number of occasions. So there's this feminist side of it. There's, combating patriarchy. There is, dismantling societal norms, all these different things. It's actually a really good series that I think that everybody should watch, and it'll help you better understand kind of the evolution of what it means to be a woman in 2017.
Well, it's funny you said that because I remember the opening credits. Is that when all the men were just the cat calling and when the first
the first one.
And I caught that little part, and I was like, oh my god, I got to sit down and watch this because as
and they
father
have a woman in there
who has, and there's a couple of women in there, but as a father who has daughters now, I mean, let a dude come out his mouth wrong around my daughters, So, but for the longest time, society, things have become the norm.
Yeah. Right.
And the catcalling was the norm for the longest time, and that's one of our topic today. Mm-hmm. But before we get to that, but I loved how, and Spike is directing this. Correct?
Yes, he is.
So, he is great at coming up with ways
of in there.
showing stuff. Oh, he does?
And he does. I love Spike Lee, Brooklyn native. I ride or die for Spike. I always enjoy his cameos. Yeah. Because they mean something. Yeah. And he picks really great cameos, but then he's Spike Lee, right? So it's slightly dry. It's kind of like, look at Spike on camera.
Well, and the funny thing is that he always creates a whole new narrative.
Yes,
just for his cameo.
He does.
Because his narrative in which his cameo is made
makes no sense.
At some point, you're sitting there like, if you turned away for a minute and turned back, you'd be like, what's going on right now?
Wow.
What? But when you've been watching it all the way through, you see the symbolism in it, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yep. I get it now.
That's great. That's great. So,
like, that is what I do love about Spike's work, is that he's very artistically creative. Yes. Like, he pays homage to the classics.
Yes.
And I mean, there's even a day where she goes and spends a day at the cemetery visiting the greats.
Yes.
Miles Davis headstone and all the other, you know, musical and creative talent greats. So that's pretty cool.
So they're paying some homage out there. They have some deep stuff. So what out of 5 stars, what are you guys giving this series?
I'm giving it 5.
I'm giving it definitely a 5. I'm looking forward
5
to
stars.
it coming back. I'm like,
Yes.
don't leave me hanging.
Hungry,
right there.
right?
I'm like,
But I was like, no.
right, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, so I got a cliffhanger too?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
because
All
I
right.
did too. Because I went back through Netflix. I was like, dang, did it make a mistake?
Me too. I was looking. I was like, it's the end. Last episode. Okay.
So, all right, so like we got our TV series thing, and I got to talk about my Queen Sugar because I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and we have Queen Sugar fans out there, and,
Right.
and I am loving, again, father of little girls now. I am loving how TV is recognizing strong women now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to go out on the limb and say, I'm digging. What's the sister's name?
Nova?
No, not Nova. Well, I love her.
Charlie?
Charlie. That's what I'm trying to say. Charlie is complicated across the board. Now, Lauren, you watch.
I have seen episodes. I'm not a cult follower, but I watched the first season of Queen Sugar. I kind of fell off just with time and everything, but yes, I'm very familiar with all the characters.
So you understand and see her leadership style and the way she's like, it's about the business.
Yes,
And
yes.
most men have a problem with that.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean by that?
They have a problem with how strong she is.
Yeah.
They are so used to women kind of bowing down and kind of going along with the norm. And when she's like, that's not how we're going to do business. Even her, if you saw the first season, so even how her husband, he expected her to kind of almost fall back in line like, hey, look, this is me. I messed up. My bad. I'm sorry.
Right.
And she's like, no, I can't get over. You lied for X amount of years.
Right.
You think I'm just supposed to just fall in line? No.
Right.
I mean, not only that you lied for that many years, but what you lied about.
What you lied about.
And you don't have to rock your head like that, you know? You see the
Wait.
Stop.
What you're not going to do. Right.
That's when she walked out to that basketball court,
I
right?
totally identified. I was like, that's me.
Right. You were like,
all day. I've been trying to smash his face with basketball. They'd have been like, you know.
That was real. That was real.
Me and my homegirls. My homegirls was like,
me and my girlfriends have a saying, cold black, cold black, cold black.
Ain't no been no
That
cold
means
black.
time to ride out.
Trying to ride out. Hey, Ken, you better be listening, right? You're the single professor in the room, so I'm safe,
There would have been
right?
a lot more profanity used than that.
That's good.
But then lied and then had the nerve to disrespect the chick and call her a prostitute. Like, all along, this your side chick, and you trying to tell me pimp her off and pass her off as a prostitute. Really? Like, seriously?
That's scary. That's downright scary. I mean, but that's
Jesus, take the wheel, because somebody going to jail.
That's the flip side, because you're talking about, you know, we just got finished talking about she's got to have it, and she's upfront and honest about all of her relationships to all the men in her life, whereas some cats are just lying for years.
Yep.
You know, and you're like, well, which one is right? Which one is wrong? And SJ said it best the first time, give me the choice. Tell me the truth.
Give me the choice.
Give me the choice to make my decision on what I want to do and what I'm willing to be open to. Because I've found in the past and in experiences with my buddies that there are a lot of folks that are okay with being and in an open relationship with that side person. And I've heard women say, I want to send him back to his wife because I only want him for X amount of time.
There are women like that.
Wow,
I'm not one of them, but there are women like that.
No, there are women like that because they feel like it's less of a headache.
Yeah.
They're like, I get to have fun with him, and then I send him back home to his wife and let her deal with all his other crap.
Yeah, it's like having a niece or a nephew. You
Okay.
can bring them over for 3 hours. You can play the snacks. Hey, where you at, son? Come on, pick this dude up.
You know what I don't appreciate though, in the Queen Sugar reference to your point, you know, his reaction, right? Like thinking about his reaction, like you're dead wrong. You are dead wrong.
Yeah.
and yet you're still trying to find a space to be self-righteous.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, sir,
Yeah.
come
Come
on.
on,
You
now.
know,
Stop.
like there
Stop.
is no room for self-righteousness when you are that wrong
No.
in that situation. And to me, again, that speaks to like that societal norms. Like, he just had this assumption because he makes so much money, because he provides a lifestyle. She's gonna be married for a little while, maybe go shopping, buy some flowers, go on some trips or whatever. But she be all right because I have this money. Like, I have a lifestyle that she's not gonna be willing to give up. She was like, we can pack my one little garbage bag, go about my day. You know,
Well, it's
like,
funny you said that.
yeah.
When you said that, I think of Kevin Hart's wife.
Hello.
Oh, with the new one?
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
The new
I told
Yeah.
we talk about that all the time because you know when that video came out and then he came out, I said, okay, first off, let's get folks that was bigging him up. I'm like, there's no big ups here because he's only doing this to stay ahead of it, so he doesn't have to pay the chick.
Yeah.
That's first off.
Yeah.
He's only coming out because he was caught.
Right.
Second off, the wife, she not going nowhere because she was the side chick with the last wife.
Which she still has not.
Never apologized to
Yeah.
her for.
Right.
She ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I was like, she might got a nice prenup, but that prenup ain't nice as sitting where she's at.
Exactly.
She knows. And to me, when you've done those type of things to get where you are, how you gonna be mad that he did it again? Like, if you ain't know what you were signing up for? Like, I'm that woman that I feel that way when you hear some of these women that get with athletes and all these other people, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. And they're putting stuff out on social media. I'm like, yo, did you or did you not realize what you were signing up for?
Right.
The possibility.
I'm
Right.
glad you said that.
I'm like, I'm not saying that what he did
Man
is
said
right
that, you know.
or that you know that you should accept it. I'm saying there is some knowledge here that is the likelihood that could happen.
Are you saying that because of where they are status-wise?
Yeah.
You're saying because of the status of the man, when you're walking into a situation, you kind of have to have an expectation that cheating will happen? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm not saying that you should have the expectation that cheating will happen. What I'm saying is you have to be mindful of the fact that the opportunities for him to cheat are rampant.
Yes, they
it's
are.
more than the average guy.
Right, but
Because you got chicks doing all kinds of crazy things. You've heard about it on TV where they're like, yo, I came into my hotel room and there was a naked chick on my bed.
yeah.
Who let her in? You know what I mean? How is that happening?
Right.
Why aren't we firing the
Hey,
hotel
hey,
back?
But
Like,
you know what? But here's the danger in that. No, but here's the danger in acknowledging that. Okay, so we acknowledge that, but the danger in acknowledging that is like it almost creates room for it to be okay.
no.
It almost creates room for him not to accept responsibility
Oh, no,
and
he has to own
blame.
it.
He has to own it because if you get married, and I'm not even talking about boyfriend girlfriend monogamous relationships, right?
Right.
But if you go to somebody, you ask them to marry, you get married, you go through that whole process, you spend all that money, and you say for better or for worse, you say you and I, y'all lighting unity candles and jumping over rooms and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
The whole point is it's gonna be me, it's gonna be you, it's not gonna be anybody else.
Unless we talk about something
okay, so
different.
Unless
let me
we
ask,
talk
okay,
about
let me,
that.
okay, so let me ask a question. If I married for the fact that somebody can help me in a business advantage of some degree, does that negate the sexual interactions that may happen? Just think about a former president of ours. This dude is the president.
Yeah.
We know his wife probably ain't
They look like they slept in two separate beds.
exactly. So it could be. Okay. So this I made it a little easier. You guys watch House of Cards?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, so
course.
this ain't that whole
The
thing.
Underwoods, yes.
Now this isn't even the man getting the female. It's now the woman has a guy who is literally there all the
Living.
time
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
For that basic
And I said that all the
essential
time. He's
purpose.
become way too comfortable.
But the thing is, though, he knows that him and his wife have a relationship
Yeah.
that allows them to do what they do on a out in public political level. What they
Right.
do, the interaction behind the door. And he said he was like, "Look, I don't have the time to do all of what you need me to do
Right.
in every single capacity."
Right.
And when you talk about people evolving and growing, what made it sounded good when we was all 20.
Yeah.
It ain't sounding the same when we 30, 40, getting stuff going.
Right.
And now it's like, look, I am a person, not to me specifically, but you say, hey, look, you know what? I'm not in college anymore. Now I'm out working. I work for, XYZ company, and I'm traveling all the time. I know that I'm not going to be home every single night. You need some arms around you. So, I mean, at what point do you say, you know what? It may be going back to the polygamy situation, it could be a situation like that. And I just want to know what you guys, what you ladies.
Let me chime in here real quick because one of our followers on Facebook just chimed in and said, then let me know this is financial.
Yes.
Up front. Let me know this is financial. I need this partnership. This is a business arrangement.
Exactly.
You know, once or twice a month you might get a little something extra, but we know that this is a business arrangement. You know, and put it on the table as such. Thank you very much, Lindell, for chiming in on that. We appreciate you. Oh, and as she quickly said, and we both will play, not just one spouse.
Exactly.
Wow, that's.
I mean, well, we just had that conversation not that long ago because there was a reality show that came out briefly, and it was like 3 or 4 different professional black women. I think it was one of those trial things where they're trying to see if it worked out, and it didn't really. Pilot episode. And so one of the women was married, but it was known amongst her girlfriends that her and her husband had an open relationship, an open marriage. Now within that open marriage, they had, you know, women in their bed, and that was something he was okay with. Well, one night he happens to come home when he said he was going to be out of town, and she has a man in the bed. He flips out, and she's like, what are you upset about? We have an open relationship. He's like, yeah, but I never expected a man in the bed. And she's like, well, did you think that it was just going to be you who could play and not me too? And it was funny because he was now wanting to change all the rules that he signed up for when they got married, which was open relationship, no children. Now he's like, I want kids. I want to have a more stable family life. This, that. And she's like, I never wanted children. Told you that before we got married.
Right.
I mean, we have an open relationship. You get to be with Susie, I get to be with Jake. Like, I don't see what the issue is. Like, how do you change up the game, the rules of the game, mid-game?
Let me ask this. What if she walked in on him with another man? Because it's one thing if you said that they knew that he had known that she had women in the bed.
Right.
He was all right with that.
Well, because
but
he
now
was always a part of it.
And then so now I'm asking, what would have happened if she had came home and he in there with the neighbor, the dude down the street or something like that.
We have open
and
marriage,
she's like, what in the world? What am I looking at?
Assumption that.
And it's open relationship.
Well, no, I think that in scenarios like that, if that's what you're going to do, then the rules have got to be laid out so crystal clear that there is no room for like, well, this is what I thought. No, the hell you didn't, because that's not what I said.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be crystal clear.
So like a contract.
A contract. I mean, exactly.
Like
if that, I mean,
marriage contract.
It's,
Or a partnership.
What is it called? The terms of engagement, the rules of engagement, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, I agree. It has to be laid out clear. You have to be clear on expectations and like, because we have to protect each other too, right?
Yeah.
We both have to think about the people that we're bringing into the situation, and so we just, if you love me enough, you'll want to protect me, right? You won't want to do things or put yourself or myself in situations that could cause different types of damage, different types of harm.
Exactly.
But but if you sign up for something like that, you have to be, the point you made earlier, you have to be ready to sign up for other types of things. When you're walking into a situation, you think that you're okay with everything or anything, and you're really not. But again, to your point, he wants to change the rules. No, because she signed up for something. She signed up for one thing. That's what you guys have been doing. You don't get to then change the rules for something else in the middle because it no longer fits you. Right. You guys can sit down and think about that long term and say, is this really where we want to be anymore? I think that's the bigger conversation. Yeah. But not like, let's just change the rules because I said so.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, even going back to when I was talking about, if you get with a person of a certain status, that there's some expectation. I'm not saying just the status, but usually in most of these cases where things come out, things came out before you ever got married about that person. Right. So you already saw them with this one, that one, and the other. Right. Sometimes as women, we like to think that we've got something so different that we're going to just flip and change his world, girl.
Magic,
we about
baby,
to be
magic.
grand like girl, do it on the pole. Right. I mean, this bag of tricks I got right here is going to change his life. And you're like, yeah.
She got newer tricks.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got a newness to it that you don't have
and
no more.
Nothing's better than tricks than some new tricks.
Right. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying is that So if you knew that, what made you think that he was going to change
Right.
because it was you?
Right.
Not to say that you shouldn't want someone that's willing to change for you,
Right.
but keep in mind that the possibility is if they did it once, that there's likelihood that they could do it again.
Absolutely.
And if they cheated with you, they'll probably cheat on you.
That's possible. That's possible. Listen, we're going to take a quick pay our bills moment, and we'll be back with our headlines. We want to thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back. Facebook Live. We'll be right back.
Facebook bad.
We'll be right back.